Hello students, today in this video we are going to study about the topic subject-verb agreement. Now what do you mean by subject-verb agreement? In every sentence in English we have one subject, one verb and one object. So subject-verb agreement means the verb which you are using in a sentence should agree according to the subject. It means the verb should agree according to the number of the subject. Number of the subject means singular and plural, and also the verb should agree according to the person, like first person, second person or third person. Now I would like to give you some examples on this. For example, if I take any subject he, she, it or any name. For example, she, or even if you write he, and one sentence if we write with they. Now you can see here that if the subject is he or she, it means he, she is singular. So if the subject is singular, the verb will be singular. Singular verb means we are writing s or es in the verb. Okay. If the subject is plural, like in the second sentence I have written they, then according to the plural subject, the verb is also plural. Now what do you mean by plural verb? Plural verb means we will not put any s or es. If the verb is singular, it means we will put s or es in the base form of the verb, and if the verb is plural, it means we don't have to put any s or es in the base form of the verb. So according to these subjects, we will use the verbs. So this is subject-verb agreement. Means in a sentence, the verb should accord or it should be adjusted according to the subject, whatever subject you are using in a sentence. Two or more subjects. Now there are certain rules. I would like to tell you certain rules are there of subject-verb agreement. Now rule number 1. Along with the examples, I will explain you. Different rules are there. Rule number 1. What is rule number 1? Two or more singular subjects connected by and usually take a verb in plural. Now suppose there are two subjects, maybe Ram and Shyam. Okay. Now this is clear to you that there are two names, one is Ram and one is Shyam. It means the subjects are two. It means the subjects are plural. They are not singular. So if the subjects are plural, two words or maybe 3, 4, whatever, these words or these subjects, they are combined by and. Like here I have only two subjects. So here in between I will write and. So the subjects, if they are combined by and, it means subject is plural. Then the verb will also be in plural form. Are here. Are is the form of the verb be and are is plural. So Ram and Shyam are here. Okay. So here two subjects are combined by and, then the verb used will be in plural form. So this is rule number 1. Rule number 2. A singular verb must be used with a singular subject and a plural verb with a plural subject. Okay. Whatever I have explained earlier. Now come to the rule number 2. If your subject is singular, like cat. Cat is here singular, then the verb will also be singular. Singular verb means you are adding s or es in the main form of the verb. So the cat brings milk. Now, if your subject is plural, if I write the cats, cat subject is plural, So the verb will also be in plural form. Plural form means without s or es. Here in drink you will not put any s or es. The cats drink milk. So this is rule number 2. So what is rule number 2? If your subject is singular, then your verb will also be in singular form. If your subject is plural, then your verb will also be in plural form. Now come to the rule number 3. If two singular nouns refer to the same person or thing, the verb must be singular. Now, suppose you are taking two nouns in a sentence, but these two nouns are related to one word only. For example, bread and butter. The only food. Now in this sentence it is clear to you that two words are used. One is bread and one is butter. These two words, they are related to one single, subjects are two, but they are related to one single theme, or you can say they are related to one single idea. So bread and butter, since the words are two but they are related to single idea or single theme, that's why here we will use the singular verb. We will not use plural verb. Okay. So singular form of be is. So bread and butter is the only food. So what does it mean? That if two singular nouns, they refer to the same thing, same idea or same person, then those two subjects are considered as singular and the verb used will also be in singular form. Now we come to the rule number 4. What is rule number 4? If the singular subjects are preceded by each or every, the verb is usually singular. If in the subject we are using the word each or every, either we are using each or we are using every, then the verb will also be in singular form. Like every boy and girl is ready. Now here every word is used. One subject is boy, one subject is girl. But these two subjects, they are using every. Either you use each or you use every. So in a sentence, if you are using each or every, each means individual, every also means individual. It means in this sentence, I am talking individually about the boy and girl. So if we are talking individually, means each and every refers to individually. So here the subject is singular because we are talking individually about individual person. So that's why here verb will also be in singular form. You will not use are because boy and girl is there and they are combined by and. No, this is not the rule. The rule is if the subjects they are using or before the subjects you are using each and every, then it means the subject is singular, and since the subject is singular, the verb will be also in singular form. That's why we are using is. Now come to the next rule. Two or more singular subjects connected by or, nor, either, neither, nor take a verb in singular form. Now suppose two subjects are there in a sentence, but these two subjects are combined either with either or neither or nor, then the verb will also be in singular form because in that case the subject is considered in singular form. For example, subjects are there. One is cook and one is corner. But these two subjects are combined by or. In between we are using or. Okay. So either you use or you use neither, or you use nor. Whatever you use, if you are using neither or nor, it means we are talking about first subject or second subject. We are not talking about both the subjects together. Out of these two subjects, we are talking only about one subject. Okay. So here it means one subject, no cook or corner. Nothing was unexplored. Everything, every hook and corner I have explored, I have found, but I could not get something. So here I am using or. Or means ya to cook, ya corner. So here I am talking about only one subject. So the verb will also be in singular form. That is, we will use was. Singular form of be in present tenses is. Singular form of be in past tenses was. Plural form of be in present tense is are. Plural form of be in past tense is were. So this you should know. So here in past tense we are talking, the sentence is in past tense and singular form. That's why we are using here was. Now next rule. Some nouns which are plural in form but singular in meaning take a singular verb. Now, there are some nouns which are, this is rule number 6, that was rule number 5. There are some nouns in which in the spelling we write S. It does not mean that the meaning is plural. Obviously, the form is plural, but the meaning is singular. So if the meaning is singular and the form is plural, then too it will take or it will follow a singular verb. For example, the news is true. Now in this sentence, news, what we are adding in the last? S. Okay, S we are adding. It means news form is plural, but the meaning is singular. News means samachar. Okay, so the news is true. Form is plural, but meaning is singular. That's why we will use singular verb, which is We will not use are because S is there. No, form is plural, but meaning is singular. So that's why we will use singular verb. Next, rule number 7. A singular subject or a plural subject joined by or nor will take a singular or plural verb depending on which the subject is nearer the verb. Now in the one of the rule we have seen that if two singular subjects are joined by either nor or, we will take a singular verb. One more time I will give you one example. Neither pen nor pencil is good in writing. Okay, and one example I am giving you of this rule. Neither Deepak nor his friends are joining the party. Now, what is the difference between these two sentences? In the first upper one sentence, neither pen nor pencil. Now see here, pen is also singular, pencil is also singular. Both the subjects, pen and pencil, are singular. these two singular subjects you are joining by neither and nor. It means I am talking either pen or pencil. मैं दोनों की बात नहीं कर रही हूँ, मैं सिर्फ एक की बात कर रही हूँ. So I am talking either of pen or of pencil. One thing I am talking. That's why in this case subject is singular. So the verb will be singular is. Now in the second sentence, one subject is singular. Deepak is singular. Friends plural. And these two subjects are joined by neither nor. It means if one subject is singular and one subject is plural and both these subjects they are combined or joined by neither nor, then the verb will follow according to the subject which is nearer to the verb. Means suppose this is your first subject, this is singular, and this is your second subject, this is plural. Okay, one is singular, one is plural, and these two subjects you are joining by neither nor. It means what? The verb will be according to the second subject. Whatever it is, if the second subject is singular, verb will also be singular. If the second subject is plural, then the verb will also be plural. It means the verb will agree according to the subject which is nearer to this verb. Okay, which is nearer to this verb. So, Deepak is singular, friends is plural. Fine. So, this verb are is according to friends. Because friends is plural, so verb will also be plural form. I hope it is clear to you. Okay. Similarly, I would like to give you one more example. Opposite if I do of this. Neither friends nor Deepak dash joining the party. Now here in this sentence we have reversed. Here singular subject was first and plural subject was second. But here I have done the reverse. Plural subject is first and singular subject is second. So your verb will be according to the nearby subject. Now which is your nearby subject? It is singular. Deepak is singular. So your verb will also be singular. Singular means is. I hope it is clear to you. Both the sentences I have explained with examples. Now come to the next rule. If the subject is singular and the predicate is plural, the verb must agree with its subject and not its predicate. Okay. Subject is singular. Next rule. Subject is singular and predicate is plural. For example, physical conditioning and mental attitude are a winning combination. This is one sentence. Similarly, I am giving you another sentence. Opposite if I do of this. The winning combination is physical conditioning and mental attitude. Now I have reversed the sentence. Here there are two subjects. One is physical conditioning and one is mental attitude. Okay. And predicate. What is your predicate? Winning combination. Here predicate is winning combination. So the verb will be according to the subject, not according to the predicate. It means here if the subjects are two, verb will also be in plural form, because here there are two subjects. It means a plural subject, so verb will also be in plural form. But in the second sentence, subject is only one, winning combination, and predicates are two. One is physical conditioning and one is mental attitude. So here subject is one, predicates are two. Here subjects are two, predicate is one. So the verb will be according to the subject, according to this rule. Now here, since subject is only one, winning combination, so verb will also be singular because subject is singular. So what verb will you use? Is. Okay. These two sentences are just opposite to each other. Now we come to the next rule. Indefinite pronouns such as someone, somebody, each, nobody, anyone, anybody, one, no one, everyone, everybody, either, neither, etc. always take a singular verb. This is very simple, that if any of these pronouns are coming in a sentence, then the verb will also be in singular form, because these pronouns, they show singular form. Okay. What are the pronouns? One example I will give you. Each of my friends calls me once a month. Means what? This sentence, we are using each. Okay. Each means pratyek, individual I am talking. Each of my friends, there are many friends, maybe there are 10 friends or there are 15 friends, but each of my friend means I am talking individually of every person, of every friend. Okay, so here since each word is used, each means individually, it means your subject is singular, it is not plural. Friends, in friends, S is there, means there are many friends. But still, why your subject is considered singular? Because here each word is used. So either you use each, nobody, anyone, anybody, no one, one, everyone, everybody, either, neither, etc. All these words refer to or express or show singular subject. Okay, individually we are talking. So here, since the subject is singular, so the verb will also be in singular form. Singular form means you will put S or ES in the last in the verb. So that's why we will write here calls. Okay. So each of my friends calls me once a month. Since subject is singular, so the verb will also be in singular form. This was another rule. Now, the remaining rules of subject-verb agreement we will discuss in the next video. Thank you.